Alright guys, welcome back to the All's Free Garage channel. The old man and I actually made a little trip down to Pennsylvania the other day to pick up some headlights that we found on Facebook Marketplace. These are the set we've been looking for, and you know, when you search enough, sooner or later something pops up. So we got the 359 style with the JJ brackets. Obviously we're going to switch these out and put some LEDs in, but these are not for this truck. They're for this truck right here. So these things are going to look awesome when we get them put on. And I'm so happy they got the JJ brackets. I mean, just these are like $400 in themselves. And we got the headlights. I mean, they look like brand new. Not a real scuff or anything on them, but a little idea of what they're going to look like on this truck. Kind of give it that old school theme, play into the 90, because it is an old truck. You know, we are going to modernize it here and there, but we want to stay true to what it is. And I think nothing does that better than the old 359 style headlights, especially with the modern JJ brackets. But I think Dave and I, we got the panels. We're going to get those put back in because we are going to need to move this truck.
Dash panel.
Dash panels. If we were smart, we probably wouldn't have taken them out just yet, because you can't really move a truck when nothing's hooked up. So, and we really don't feel like pushing it, because you think pushing a car is bad, try pushing a semi-truck. So we're going to get those put back in. We're going to try to get some of this interior, at least in the cab, put in, because it's been way too long. You know, we got the upholstery sitting here. Don't want it collecting dust. And then I think we got some new seals and stuff at Peterbilt we picked up for the doors. We might start working on those doors, getting those things all cleaned up, because we do have to body work those. And those might be kind of our test panels that we spray out, the cream white color that we're going to spray on this truck. So that'll definitely give us a good start and a good idea of kind of what it's going to look like. And we decided we're going to take doors all completely apart, the internal parts, replace what we have to. Hopefully save a lot of it, just clean it back up and polish it and lubricate it all back up. So we're going to go ahead and get cracking on this truck, hopefully get some progress done. This one's about done.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have much more to this.
All it needs is the hood latches, which Ryan did pick up this week, but forgot them at the house.
So once we put those on this truck, this one's ready to go to work, make some dang money. So it's been sitting here way too long. Somehow this simple repaint job turned into a whole cosmetic restoration and including mechanical restoration, because we did rebuild the motor on this one. We are going to be putting a new clutch in it and a rear main seal. So that's something that is coming up for this truck. We noticed it's got a little bit of leak back there. Nothing big, but obviously if you're putting it back on the road, we just want to do it all right now, instead of pulling it back off the road eventually to do it. So I'm going to go ahead, grab what I got to, and let's start working on getting this old 90 girl kind of put back together, I guess.
So I know we said we were going to put the dash panels back in the dash, but you guys can see here, give them a little look in the inside, Ryan. We didn't do that. We took it more apart. We took the the cores for the heater cores, or
yeah, we got the two cores sitting over here.
The box down there. And that was a pain.
Oh my
Take
God.
that thing out. And I think it was just the people or whoever owned the truck and did some work to it before us. They had silicone all around. We had to take a knife and cut around all the silicone out, just to even try to pull it out, because it was like stuck in there. So that was a pain. And
a lot of times down here, these in the inside of the screens in those core boxes, it rusts. And we had a good amount of rust in the bottom of somewhere. I can't see.
Filters in there as well.
Yeah, and it gets where the door open and kind of closes.
Yeah. So, but there were no filters. There's nothing really in there. So, but yeah, so we tore pretty much everything out. But it's nice now we can clean everything up behind there, and actually go through all the wires, make sure everything's nice and the way we want it, and wrap them all up in loom. And then we're also going to dye them at the back of the firewall here.
Yeah, but it gives us access. We'll finish pulling everything off the front of the cab here, because the truck is getting a full color change. And when you do, if we were just painting it burgundy like it is, it'd be no problem. But being that we're going the cream white color, everything's got to go.
Yeah, so we got a little bit change of plans. We're going to wait to put the interior in, because we don't want to paint while the interior's in.
We want pretty much everything stripped off this cab.
So it's going to be stripped down. The firewall and everything's going to be stripped off, and then we have to do all of our body working. And then we need to replace this piece on the driver's side.
Yeah, the other one on the other side. And luckily, There's a company out of Illinois. It's called Truck Shrouds that I got into contact with, and they're gonna hook us up with a new panel right here.
Yeah, this piece that goes all the way back to here.
And that was actually a concept design they were working on. They weren't sure they were able to do it, and then they actually got the schematics of everything, and now they're doing mass production of them. So if you guys ever need any of these panels, and also the rear panels for the cab, yeah, they do the Unibuilt setup. So, I mean, it'd be a heck of a lot easier if you got an older truck. The only thing you'd have to change is just this rear panel back here that goes up, and it already has the hole pretty much cut out for you to where you need to be. Yeah. So we might do that, we might not. I think we're gonna start with this first panel definitely right here.
Yeah, this piece, and do a little bit of body working on this piece up here.
Yeah, and these are fiberglass. I learned that. So this will be very easy to do, being that we fiberglass the heck out of all these fenders back there. We're kind of used to working with the fiberglass now. So,
but and then we also need, these aren't huck rivets, so we do need to get the huck on. We will get it before we replace this panel, so don't yell at us there. And but we'll replace all the rivets that aren't the actual huck rivets as well. But we need to take this I don't even know what you call the intake corner boot thingy.
Yep, some boot.
Yeah, we got to take this out, so then we have more room in the inside to look at all the wires for the dash and just everything else up there. Clean that all up, and then we'll be I think start tearing apart the firewall.
Start tearing apart the firewall. Probably hasn't been out since the day this truck was new. And we're the dumb ones that decided to pull it out. Which means it's gonna be 20 times harder getting it put back in. But man, is this wiring a mess, so it's a good thing we did pull it out, because we're gonna need all the room that it's gonna take to get this wiring cleaned up. What the heck's that? Alright, so we're changing it up a little bit here in this video. We're kind of going back and forth between the two trucks, but we did order from Truck Shrouds. Truck Shrouds is a company out of Illinois. They make awesome parts for Peterbilts, especially all of the skins. And they just started making the cab skins, because before you would get stuck ordering this from Peterbilt, and you would spend probably $600 to $800 just for this skin right here. And Dave and I decided that, this is 30-year-old metal, so we figured, and we are changing stuff up with the evap box, and we're just gonna order and put brand new skins on this cab and reskin it. We're gonna be working on the sleeper too, because we're gonna do that rear panel with the window. But we went out and bought this new tool. It's a belt sander that allows us basically just to go over the huck rivets, and since we're not really worried about the panel itself, even if we skip over and we get a little bit of the panel like I just did, this helps just grind those down, and then you just take a punch and punch out the collar or the rivet. So we're gonna go ahead and get this panel out. We got the replacements over on the other side, but when we mock that up, we'll show you guys. But guys, if you guys ever need skins for a cab or a sleeper, or you got a side that's all dented up, get yourself a belt sander and grind out these rivets and go to Truck Shrouds. It's amazing quality, and it's like 50 or 60% less the cost. Oh geez, I can't talk to that. I can't do math. It's like 50% off basically what you spend at Peterbilt trying to get these panels. And it's OEM quality, the same thickness and same gauge aluminum. It's awesome stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this, connect it up to the airline, see if I can't get some of these buzzed out. I wanted to show you guys what this actually looks like. So this is the panel that we pulled off, and you can see you just grind away all the rivets. And since you're junking the panel, you don't have to worry about, messing up or getting by the rivets and scuffing the metal. Who really cares? So this came off nice and easy, and we did replace this one because it had that huge dent, and you can actually see the push-in back here. But for a few $100, we just ordered brand new panels, and this is the brand new panel from Truck Shrouds. It's got the pre-drilled hut-up hole for the air cleaner system, and then all this does is you just take it and you slide it right up into place like that. Boom.
Everything lines up.
But because this is an older truck, these panels are for 93 or 94 and newer. And it's all the Unibuilt setup. And the only difference is every other rivet, because it is a 90. Yeah, we're going to have to just pre-drill those out and pop in puck rivets.
It's only 5 holes we got to drill out.
Yeah, and come on, how for $300, how do you replace that?
And the only thing, we might have to replace this cowl piece up here or just do some fiberglass work, but I think we might be better off to replace it because we got to grind out all these rivets. They're not the huck ones, right? Like these, and then up a little bit there. We got to grind those out. So if we're doing that, might as well maybe
I'm kind of thinking, if we're taking it down this far for the extra time, when else are you going to get a chance to come in here and do this? So we might just try to find a new one. If you guys know of any place that supplies these cowl pieces, other than Peterbilt, obviously, an aftermarket company, we like using aftermarket guys that do work like Truck Shrouds. We're happy to have their products in our truck. And matter of fact, I'd say that's better than a factory part. Yeah. So we're going to definitely try to replace as much as we can. We've been talking too back here, putting the sleeper panels, the cabs that wrap around and make this a big hole truck. And that's the new style. And we'd also have the bracketry to make it all Unibuilt as well. But for sure, these came out awesome. We ground this down right here, so that way it got rid of all the oxidation that has been built up on there. Yeah, and we'll grind this down, get all this goo or whatever off, and then I think you're supposed to put some kind of glue or sealant stuff in there. Yeah, it's like a seam sealer. Yeah, so we'll put seam sealer down here, and then also down in here a little bit too, just to protect it from any other moisture getting in. But it gives us great access because we're going through all that wiring to all the electronics. So we'll go ahead and go through and clean this all up, and then also down in here put all new buzzers and all new pressure sensors as well. But it's going to be a new truck pretty much. It's going to be a 30-year-old new truck, and we're going to make it all modern, with doing all the new panels and putting paint in it and putting all digital gauges in there. And this one already has that tilt steering system, which is awesome. But just a little by little. I think it's Twin Sticks that says piece by piece or little by little. So, and God, with these old trucks, that is such a true saying. But we're going to probably do the sleeper panels as well, at least a few of those on the sleeper itself, just to freshen it up. And, it makes it 20 times easier when all you got to paint. Because all you got to do is throw some primer on this, wet sand it out, and then lay your base coat. So it's going to help us save a lot of time. We're spending a little time doing all this, but the time saved is light years ahead of what we would do if we had to body work all this stuff. So if you guys ever need those panels, check out Truck Shrouds. You guys can tell here we got pretty much all the rivets out, except for these top ones, and we're being kind of precautious with the top ones up here. We don't want to do it on the outside because we don't want to mess this cowl piece up. We're still, we don't know if we want to replace it or if we're just going to try to fix it on the other side. So we're coming through the back and trying to grind off the backs of the rivets and then popping them out this way. But we're struggling here with the riv nuts. The riv nuts for the air cleaners. Ryan got these two out, and we're struggling with these two right here because we don't want to. I don't know. It's not a good angle really to get a grinder in the backside. Try to grind them down, and in the front we don't really. We kind of messed up a little bit. Just a little. Right here, this corner. We'll bend it back out though, but yeah. So it's giving us some problems, but we're almost there. It's the last like 5%. It's always the hardest. It's like 100 rivets on here, so.
silicone they put up there.
So on these older trucks, that cowl panel above, right after the window, is all fiberglass. And unfortunately, we learned that the hard way with this panel. So we actually got a chunk of the fiberglass with us. But, you know, you've seen us fix the fenders. We did a whole bunch of fiberglass. So what we're going to do is actually up here, you can see where it came off. We're just going to come in and lay sheets on the back end. Probably have to drill out some of these rivets up here so we can lift this up a little bit. And then we'll just build this back up, and by the time we're done, nobody would know that
it's not that
ripped
bad.
off a chunk of it.
No.
We've done fiberglass before, so we're no strangers to it. It may look like a lot of work, but really this is nothing. We're also going to check Pete just to see what this new piece would cost. If it's only like $200, which I doubt it is, we may just replace it, but we'll definitely be able to fix it if it is crazy expensive. But you can get some exposure to the backside of all this, and it's really important when you got it down here to grind off all this oxidation and calcium buildup here, especially right here. You see a lot of these trucks start to pit out on the bottom end, and now you kind of get a first look as to why it does it. All this calcium and this oxidation builds up, and eventually it will start eating away at the aluminum, and that's what pits all this out. And luckily this truck really didn't have much of it, so we kind of got lucky there. But we're going to go ahead and clean all this stuff up in here, get all this cleaned up. And also on the newer panels, they're a little bit different with the rivet holes, so we're just going to utilize the new style rivet holes. So this truck will be a little bit of mixture of new school, old school, but it's just better to do that. We've got some welding we're going to do up in this firewall too, clean up a few of these holes, especially for this the evaporator and stuff. Just really clean it up, because we're going to have to paint all this too. So whatever holes, like we're going to relocate the windshield washer fluid down below, so it's just a clean firewall look. Relocate a lot of these AC lines and the air dryer. Also build a cover for the windshield wiper motor. And when we do this cab, we're actually going to mount the radiator to the frame itself and get rid of this old school setup. So it'll look a lot better, a lot cleaner. And although this did take us a good amount of time, because we did run out of some sanding belts and we had to use the grinder, it's well worth it to do it. When else are you going to be able to take a cab down to basically just the bare frame shell of the cab and actually reskin the whole thing? So we figured that was the best route to go. And unfortunately now we're paying a little bit of the price because we got to rebuild some fiberglass stuff, but this truck will be stronger than ever when we're done with it. All right, guys, well, Dave and I run up to the store. That's going to be it for this video. We appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, go check out the Alls 3 Garage Instagram. We like to post a little, things of what we're doing in the garage before we put the video up on YouTube for all you guys to see. We appreciate every one of you guys, walking through us, this journey of rebuilding this old truck. And all your suggestions and comments down in the bottom of this video, we read through them all. So if you guys have any suggestions, drop them down below, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Remember, keep them wheels rolling. We'll see you soon.